A lot of politicians and pundits talk about Iran like it's just a pressure problem. If the US and Israel apply enough pressure, sanctions, and strikes, eventually the people will rise up, the regime will fall, and freedom just magically appears. But if you actually listen to the people living through this, that theory falls apart. In writing and interviews, people like Hoda Katebi describe something very different. Not grand pie-in-the-sky strategy, not theory, just people trying to survive the day, trying to reach family when internet's cut off, trying to make sense of evacuation orders that just don't match reality. Just leave sounds simple, until you're caring for an elderly parent who can't make it down the stairs, or a mother with cancer who can't be moved. It becomes impossible when food is scarce, roads are jammed, infrastructure is strained, and you can't even receive money because of sanctions. We're talking about 91 million people, not a chessboard for Washington or Tel Aviv to game out from a distance. One of the core assumptions here is that outside imperial pressure creates liberation. Historically, that's just not what happens. You cannot bomb people into liberation. And under these conditions, people don't gain agency. Organization gets jettisoned for being in survival mode. Grassroots movements just collapse into trying to stay alive. And that's the contradiction. This discourse claims to care about freedom, while treating people as passive objects to be acted on, not as political subjects and human beings capable of shaping their own future. Political science has a name for part of this: the rally around the flag effect. When a country is under external threat, support for the government can actually rise, even among people who were critical before. That doesn't mean people suddenly agree. I know I'm saying what people have said 1,000 times before, but Iran is not a monolith. But it does mean that pressure narrows what's politically possible, because right now, survival and national defense override everything else. And we've already seen what real internal resistance looks like. The women life freedom movement shows that change emerges from within, from dignity, from autonomy, from lived experience, not from being imposed from the outside, from the imperial core. Many Iranians do not want another foreign-backed order. The memory of the 1953 coup still matters, when the US and the UK overthrew a democratically elected government. So when imperial powers present themselves as liberators today, skepticism is warranted. It's not irrational, it's historically based. The answer to authoritarianism is self-determination, not fucking imperial management. We all know we've seen this pattern before. In Iraq and Afghanistan, destabilize the regime, remove the bad actors. Voila, democracy. But it's never actually about liberation. It's about resources and geopolitical leverage. Even sanctions fit into this. Imperial powers present them as a humane alternative to war. But in practice, they function as a slow form of violence. They make everyday life so much harder. Harder to get money in, harder to move, harder to care for people. And as Huda points out, they can actually make the state stronger, because isolation gives authorities more control. We've seen repeated IRGC internet shutdowns during unrest, so to state the obvious. Israeli strikes, Netanyahu addressing Iranians directly, Trump echoing the same. You know it's a political project. When you look at the lived reality, the history, the political dynamics, imperial pressure, producing liberation is just impossible to defend. You don't believe this shit.